Good afternoon and welcome to our Presidential Election Assembly. Let's start fittingly with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think Emma is ready.
Assembly stand. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Emma. Today is Election Day, and our goal is to help our students better understand how our democracy operates, and in this case, how the president gets elected, and also what differentiates both major parties on topics ranging from the economy to climate change. I have two wonderful co-hosts today with me, Alex and Olivia, who themselves were elected democratically as co-presidents of Buckley Student Council. Please welcome them.
Thank you, Dr. Joel. Hey, Olivia. It's great to be with you today. Thanks to magic of editing, you're not really here. So I can take my mask off.
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's great to be here today.
Hey, I've always wondered, how does the President of the United States get elected?
Let's go ask our second graders.
In America, we have a democracy.
That means the citizens elect and vote for the president who will lead the country.
There are rules for every election.
The rules were written in the Constitution, a document that was written to explain how our government works.
The Constitution states that a president must be at least 35 years old.
The president must be a citizen of the United States.
The president must have lived in the United States for at least 14 years. A presidential term is 4 years. A president can only serve 2 terms.
Every 4 years, we elect a president.
People who want to become president begin a political campaign.
The Democratic, Republican, and the third parties each nominate one candidate to represent their party in the election.
The candidates each choose a running mate for vice president, and they run as a team.
During the campaign, nominees put ads on TV giving out bumper stickers and many speeches trying to convince people to vote for them.
They also participate in debates where they appear together and answer questions. That explains why they would make the best president.
Election Day is the first Tuesday following the first Monday in November.
Only citizens 18 and over can vote on Election Day.
You need to be registered to vote.
It is every citizen's right and responsibility to vote in each election. Citizens from all over the country go to their local polling places to cast their vote.
There are 2 types of votes, the popular vote and the electoral college vote.
When people vote in the presidential election, they're really just letting electors from their state know who they think should win.
Each state has electors. The number of electors is equal to that state's representation in Congress.
The number of electoral votes is based on both population and representation in Congress.
For example, every state has 2 senators. New York has 27 members in the House of Representatives.
That means in New York we have 29 electoral votes. A state like Montana has a smaller population, therefore it has fewer electoral votes.
Candidates try to win the states with the most electoral votes.
There is a total of 538 electors. There needs to be 270 electoral votes for a candidate to become president.
The popular vote is very important because electors almost always cast their vote for the candidate that you vote for within your state.
That was a great job. What do you think, Alex?
Now I get it.
Let's take a look at the main differences between the two major parties, Republican and Democrat.
Let's take a look at what the Democrats and Republicans think of taxes and economy.
Democrats are in favor of raising taxes for individuals and corporations and improving opportunities for those in need. Democrats would repeal the tax cuts made by the current Republican administration to make more funds available for a variety of government initiatives.
Democrats wish to help small businesses and working families and prevent the laying off of necessary workers. Likewise, they want the government to help create more jobs. They believe that unemployment is damaging to individuals, families, and communities in the U.S. economy as a whole.
In order to help those with the lowest incomes, Democrats feel it is necessary to raise the hourly minimum wage to $15 per hour. Raising the hourly minimum wage would in turn make people less dependent on government assistance and improve the economy as these workers spend more money in their communities. Similarly, eliminating non-compete agreements for workers would improve employment opportunities. A non-compete agreement limits where an employee can work for a certain amount of time after he or she leaves his or her job.
Also, in an effort to help those with fewer resources in a way that will ultimately help the country's economy, the Democrats want to improve access to affordable education, including free community college, so that young people with fewer resources can obtain college-level educations and seek better-paying job opportunities. The Democrats want to ensure that the next generation has easy access to a good education to drive the economy forward. The Democratic platform seeks to make sure that everyone will have enough by increasing taxes on those with too much to help those with too little.
Election Day is coming soon on November 3rd, 2020, with our leading Democrat candidate, Joe Biden, and our leading Republican candidate, Donald Trump.
The taxes and economics of the Republican Party are very important to the upcoming 2020 election. They can support the Republicans' ideology for a smaller government. Before we dive into this topic, let's discuss what these words mean.
Taxes are the payments placed on people by the government in order to support government spendings. The economy is how much wealth, money, and resources a country has.
Republicans want to have more money and focus on smaller businesses and investors rather than the government by reducing taxes. Trump has taken action on this. He passed the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act on December 22, 2017, cutting taxes even for the wealthy. What will lower taxes do?
Lower taxes will make buying businesses, investing, and trading cheaper. With less money from taxes, the government cannot spend as much money.
It seems like it could cause some problems.
It certainly can. With less government support for people, people can go without the important and necessary things they need to live, such as food and water.
Republicans want to lower the rules around the economy and only want as little rules as possible.
This is because they think that more regulations around it will make it more difficult for smaller businesses and the economy.
However, there is a possibility that a company might take a risk and a step in the wrong direction. So how good are the policies that form the Republicans' view on taxes and economy?
We cannot give you a straightforward answer. It is up to you to decide.
But hopefully you can make a much more educated decision on whoever you decide to vote for.
Great job, Olivia.
Great job, Alex. Now let's look at what the two parties think about healthcare.
Hello, we are here to give you some information about the Democratic Party's view on healthcare. We will be talking about the major associations about what the Democrats believe in regarding the American people's health. The Democrats believe that everyone should have access to affordable health care. They believe that health care is a right and not a privilege given to those who can afford it.
During the Obama administration, Obama passed what is known as the ACA, or the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. Obama believed that everyone should be able to afford health care anytime and anywhere they needed it. They believed that the government should work to ensure that this happened. The act was an act of big government in which the government would contribute a lot to make the act successful.
In this example, a couple is expecting their first child. With the Affordable Care Act's protection, it says that services that could help with the child are provided for free. However, if the Affordable Care Act is shut down, their insurers could interpret the woman's pregnancy as a pre-existing condition and therefore not help out. The Affordable Care Act protects people with pre-existing conditions and makes sure each person gets maximum coverage for their health.
Part of the 2008 Democratic Party platform stated that the government would offer money to assist plans so prices and services remain low and affordable. Overall, Obamacare saved 100 million people from worrying about their health insurance and coverage. The Democratic Party wants to keep Obamacare alive to build on it to ensure Americans don't have to worry about the cost of health care for their loved ones.
The money that the government would offer would be available to households with incomes between 100% and more than 400%. This money would be acquired by increasing tax rates on capital gains such as stocks and real estate. The tax rate would be highest for the very wealthy. Any loopholes that the wealthy could use to avoid being taxed by capital gains will be closed to ensure that those who make the most money have to give the most back.
So now you know a little bit about what the Democratic Party thinks about what the government should do about health care.
You can now use the information presented to you and take it into consideration when you look at all the other aspects of what the specific party advocates for.
Good afternoon, Buckley Country Day School. I am Zach Berger.
And I am Gabrielle Longby. Today we'll be speaking to you about the Republican Party's view on healthcare.
Healthcare is a part of society that focuses on health and well-being of families and communities. The Democratic and Republican parties have two very different views on the healthcare system.
Republicans strongly believe in the idea of individuals being able to manage their own healthcare costs. This means that there shouldn't be systems put into place such as Obamacare.
Democrats created Obamacare, and it was made to make healthcare more affordable for everyone. It did that by lowering the cost for those who cannot afford healthcare.
Republicans want to get rid of Obamacare because they believe it's hurting American families, farmers, and small business owners with skyrocketing health insurance costs.
Republicans strongly believe in reformed Medicare, which will provide seniors with more options.
They believe seniors should be offered the same insurance plan that Congress is, including the option of medical savings accounts.
In addition, the Republican Party believes in patient-centered healthcare system.
A patient-centered healthcare system is providing care that is responsive to individual patient preferences, needs, and values.
We hope that everyone here learned something new about this upcoming election.
We also hope you have learned about the Republican Party's view on healthcare. Thank you.
That was interesting. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, it really was. Next up is immigration.
We will be discussing the Democratic view on immigration and their policies. Joey, why don't you start?
Thanks, Amalia. My first question is for you. What are some of the Democratic views on immigration?
Democrats are aiming to put fewer restrictions on immigration, abolishing
immigration bans that discriminate against Muslims,
Arab, and African people. Since there is an election coming up, what are some of Joe Biden's policies for improving our immigration system?
That's a great question. Joe Biden wants to make our immigration system more modern. Currently, it is very hard to receive a visa in America. A visa is a legal document that shows your status in the USA. That's why statistics show in 2017, over 10 million immigrants immigrated to the United States undocumented, most of which were seeking safety from an unsafe country that discriminated against their sexual orientation, race, or religion. It takes at least 3 to 5 weeks to process most applications. According to visaguide.org, it takes at least 6 to 8 months to receive a reply about their visa application. That's why so many people decide to immigrate illegally. Some people don't have that much time. What is the Democratic Party doing to make it easier to receive a visa?
The Democratic Party is aiming to make it easier for families to get visas together, and they will increase the yearly number of visas that can be given to victims of violence. Their goal is to eliminate temporary visas that reduce wages for high-skilled workers and will work to keep the Diversity Visa Lottery, which is a program that grants visas to 50,000 immigrants from all over the world each year.
The Democratic Party wants to make a modernized immigration system that is helpful for those who need to escape from an unsafe country or want to start a new life in America. By modernizing the immigration system, it will be easier for immigrants to enter this country and start a new life.
Thank you for having this discussion with us, and we hope that this helps anyone watching understand the Democratic Party's views on immigration.
Breaking news, everyone. Election Day is coming up soon on November 3rd. If you're someone who doesn't know much about what's happening, then you've come to the right place. Now let's get started on today's topic, the Republican views on immigration. Now to you, Ava.
Thanks, Sophia. Before we get into Trump's perspective, let's look at the broader point. The Republican Party believes that immigration laws should address the needs of our national security. Their main focus is to ensure that immigrants are not entering illegally or getting the same benefits as legalized immigrants.
Now onto Trump's policies. Trump's immigration policies revolve around 8 ideas: restricting legal immigration, completing the border wall with Mexico, reduce the number of asylum seekers, stop undocumented immigrants from receiving benefits,
to deport immigrants who arrive to the U.S. as children, restrict travel and visas from certain countries, reduce the number of refugees, and review the H-1B visa program, a program that applies to employees seeking to hire non-immigrant aliens as workers.
The immigration policy was one of Trump's signature issues in his campaign, with his promise to build a wall on the United States and Mexico border. The Republican Party's biggest belief concerning immigration is to reduce the number of illegal immigrants entering the U.S. This is supported by Trump, who encourages the act of deporting illegal immigrants and attempts to keep the U.S. less vulnerable and safe from danger. Well, that's all for today, and we hope you use this information when you are at the polls. Thank you, and we will see you next time.
We hope you share this information with others so that future voters like yourselves can gain a better understanding of the Republican views today.
Quite interesting. Very different ideas.
Definitely. Next up is the Democrat and Republican views on international relations.
International relations is a principal system of governing authority and is the study of foreign affairs with other nations.
The Democrats have strict policies that they are dedicated to follow in order to succeed with international relations and trade in the United States. Firstly, their objective is to go back to Congress's Constitution authority on trade and nullify Trump's tariffs.
As stated in the Constitution, we want to begin to control trade with foreign nations under the Congress's laws. The Democrats want to become pro-trade and in trust with the alliances that they have with other countries, working together with the allies to make trade agreements with each other.
Furthermore, their plan is to create a reasonable proposal on dealing with China. They will begin by repealing Trump's unilateral tariffs on these Chinese imports and have full agreement with China through the World Trade Organization, just as they do with other countries.
If the Democrats' plan on reasonably dealing with China is successful, the Democratic Party would not perform these tariffs as Trump has done in the past. Instead, they will put the effort in to grow stronger bonds with other nations.
Moving on, Democrats want to expand further than the World Trade Organization and have better associations with a broader number of countries to improve their economy. The Democratic Party knows that they need to constructively take domestic actions towards strengthening competition in the United States with other countries and with the global market.
In conclusion, the Democratic Party has very detailed ideas and principles that will help our country succeed in international relations with other countries. The Democratic Party will put maximum effort to allow America to become way more efficient with trade and foreign affairs with other nations.
Hello, Buckley students. Since the election is coming up, Tyler and I are going to be discussing trade in the Republican Party.
As you may know, international trade is extremely important to the U.S. economy because it creates jobs, keeps wages up, and creates a better standard of living for citizens.
The Republican Party believes that trade should be used to increase the economy rather than to just support it. They also want to preserve a strong trade system for America.
That sounds great because it probably increases the amount of trade that the U.S. is involved in and therefore strengthens the economy. I also know that historically the Republican Party was the party of free trade. This is where the government wouldn't restrict trade by adding taxes on imports and exports.
Well, historically that is true, but today in 2020, the Republicans have different opinions, including the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump.
I do know that he is arguably still in favor of free trade, but he'll put restrictions on it if necessary. So, for example, if a country puts a restriction on a trade deal that the U.S. is involved in, then the U.S. will therefore put a restriction on it too.
That probably means more and more people in the Republican Party are beginning to see in certain situations trade will have more and more restrictions.
Yeah, even though they don't necessarily like taxes on trade, they're beginning to realize it's a certain necessity.
Exactly. And in any political party, there are going to be different opinions, especially as time evolves. Therefore, it is normal that the Republican Party change their opinions on trade as time passed.
Overall, the Republican Party believes in preserving America's high social position in trade and using trade to increase America's economy. But mostly, they believe in tariffs on exports and imports in trade only if they are necessary.
Well done. Alex, what's our final topic?
We have one last major one. Let's see what the parties think about climate change.
In this upcoming election, one very principal topic is climate change. The future of the world may be affected by climate change, and we need a president who will take responsibility for the future of the United States.
On one side, Republicans have narrow minds on climate change. However, Democrats have open minds and have many ways to help constrict the damages done by climate change. What are the Democrats trying to do to stop climate change?
Democrats have been trying to promote the Green New Deal, which is a proposition to help reduce climate change. What will the Green New Deal mainly help?
The Green New Deal will help produce more economically stable and environmentally stable energy. Additionally, it proposes to cut greenhouse emissions in half by 2030 in hopes to help reduce the effects of climate change and have sustainable communities. How can we have more sustainable communities?
To have a more efficient running and sustainable community, there are a few steps you need to take. Firstly, energy conservation and the use of renewable clean energy by means of solar panels or windmills would be a great benefit to one's community. Additionally, waste reduction by means of composting or recycling would greatly benefit a community. Which party is most concerned about climate change?
78% of Democrats say that climate change should be a top priority, which has increased by 22% since 2016. There has been no significant increase from the Republican Party since 2013. Overall, most Americans believe that climate change should be considered as a major threat, although the rise was mostly from the Democratic Party.
Thank you.
Now to you, the American voter. This could potentially be the most important election of your lifetime, and because of that, it is crucial that you understand each side's views on issues so you can develop your own.
Before we understand the Republicans' views on climate change, we need to understand what exactly is climate change. Climate change is a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's climate. Scientists have observed that Earth's surface is warming, and many of the warmest years on record has happened in the past 20 years.
Some of the effects of climate change are hurting our planet and our future. Rising temperatures have caused extreme weather events and rising sea levels. Wildfire seasons are months longer, and mosquitoes are expanding their territory, able to spread deadly diseases.
Climate change is an important topic for this election because according to the UN, the world has 11 years to avoid the worst effects of climate change. Put simply, the earlier action, the better.
So what is the Republicans' view on climate change? Republicans are known to be more on the conservative side of issues. This means that they do not favor change, but tradition and how things are.
The Republican Party considers conservation to be a conservative value as long as it is properly balanced with economics. Any policy that supports conservation must equally address economic growth and development, as well as private property rights. One major event regarding climate change is when Trump, a Republican, pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord, an agreement related to dealing with greenhouse gas emissions, adaptation, climate change, and finance.
Republican views on global warming are quite varied within the party. The party is divided on how much human activity has impacted climate change. On one side, there is recognition of significance of global warming and the importance of action. At its most extreme, certain members do not recognize that humans have played any role in global warming, stating that the Earth's warming is the natural progression of the planet. Still others, like President Trump, deny that there is any climate change at all.
Hopefully now you understand the Republicans' views on climate change and will establish your own. It's your decision and your vote.
This is Ava and Naveen signing off. Back to you.
Wow, that was a really great job by my fellow 8th graders. Olivia, what do you think?
That was really informative. Who are you going to vote for?
Well, I'm voting for...
Oh, no, wait, Alex. I should have mentioned that voting is a private matter that typically we do not discuss publicly. I would like to thank Olivia and Alex, Mrs. Rosenthal, Ms. Raphael, and Mr. Klaas for helping us prepare this assembly. And now, Buckley students, we are all going to pretend that you're old enough to vote, that you're 18, and you're going to cast your ballots. Each grade level will be assigned a number of electoral votes proportional to the number of students in the grade. And the first ballots will be cast by our co-presidents, Alex and Olivia.
Remember to vote.